Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks so much for joining us again. My name is Jessie Bly. I work for Emerging Destinations. We are part of the team that makes up the sales and marketing team for the Guyana Tourism Authority. Today we have Nicola joining us from Georgetown. She'll be taking us through the third part of this series. We've been doing the three popular tourism circuits across Guyana. So if you've missed any of those, don't worry, we'll be sending those along. Before I send everything over to Nicola, I just wanted to give you a few housekeeping notes. Please feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar. We really love for those to come in. You can ask those on the GoToWebinar control panel. So please type those through as they come to your mind. Also, I am recording this session, so if you have to step out for lunch or anything like that, don't worry, we will be sending you a playback, and we would love for you to pass that along to your team. But again, please ask questions throughout the webinar, type those through, and without further ado, I'm going to hand everything over to Nicola. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jessie. Hi, everyone. First of all, welcome to Guyana and welcome to the South Rupununi Circuit. Guyana is a rare kind of place, one where you can find nature in its original form. As Jessie mentioned, my name is Nicola Balaram and I work for the Guyana Tourism Authority here in Georgetown, Guyana. So we're going to be sending you through some of the fun facts of Guyana as a whole as a destination and get a little bit more into the South Rupununi Circuit. So Guyana is a small country, a small South American nation, just about the size of Idaho, located just below the Caribbean Sea. It is the only English-speaking country in South America where English is its native language. How to get to Guyana? Flight connections from the North American markets as well as the UK can lead you to Guyana. Some of the airlines that serve Guyana directly and through connections are Virgin Atlantic, Suriname Airways, Caribbean Airlines, Liat Airways, Copa Airlines, American Airlines, and TAM. Copa flies from Panama and has about 15 connections in the US and about 16 to 15 in other South American countries as well. American Airlines has been serving Guyana from Miami since November 2016. They have 4 weekly flights. The flight departs Miami at 6 p.m. and arrives in Georgetown at 11:40 p.m. And it departs Georgetown at 1:15 a.m. and arrives in Miami at 4:55 a.m. Great news, American Airlines will be starting direct flights from JFK, New York on December 18th, 2019. So we're definitely really excited about that. 90% of the population lives along the coastline, leaving the country's lush interior untouched and ripe for exploration. But what is the tourism product? Guyana's tourism product can best be described in 3 main words: nature, adventure, culture. In nature, we have nature and wildlife, there's birding, anything in relation to flora and fauna is great in Guyana. The highest attraction that we have currently is Kaieteur Falls. It is our #1 most visited attraction. That being said, the total number of visitors throughout the year range from about 7,000 to 8,500 persons, meaning that you can get this falls literally all to yourself when you come on board and come on a trip to Guyana. Guyana is the land of 6 different races. The most common ones you will see when you travel here are Afro-Guyanese, Indo-Guyanese, and our indigenous peoples. The other 3 races are Chinese, Portuguese, and Europeans that form some of Guyana's culture. Welcome to the South Rupununi Circuit. Throughout the webinar, I'll be having some maps of Guyana in total, but more specifically highlights points in the South Rupununi Circuit, just so you can get an idea of where it is. One thing you know right off the bat is it's not heavily rainforested. The South Rupununi Circuit is mostly a savanna area. What is there to discover in the South Rupununi? The South Rupununi Circuit is mostly known for ranching, horseback riding, wildlife and birding, ATVs, and photography. It also has some of our community-owned and led experiences, but unlike the North Rupununi, where it is indigenous villages focused, These experiences are more tied to the ranching lifestyle. One of the main towns in our South Rupununi circuit is Latham. So it is an official town of Guyana. The capital city is actually Georgetown, which is on that star that you see on the map. It's also known as the main hub for the Rupununi region. It's the border town between Brazil and Guyana, and it has a lot of Guyanese and Brazil fusion influences. These are just some of the images you can see and things you can do in Latam. So the first image shows you an overview of what the tongue looks like. And while Guyana is made up of 80% of rainforest, the South Rupununi area is vastly savannahs. We call it the golden savannahs. The wildlife that's very popular in this area are the giant anteaters, which you can see in the image below. Every year on the Easter weekend, there is also a Rupununi rodeo, which has a lot of ranching activities, horseback riding contests. There's a Miss Rupununi contest, as well as best dressed in cowboys and cowgirls. And you can definitely see some of the Guyanese and Brazilian fusions in some of the popular spots around town. One of the first places I'm going to carry you to is Wyken Ranch. So Wyken Ranch is known for its ranching lifestyle, a popular swimming hole, the savanna landscapes, and wildlife spotting. It's actually not that far off of Latham, probably about a 40-minute drive, as you can see by the map. And these two images just give you an idea of what it looks like from the layout. So you can see the swimming hole is very popular. It's actually not that far off of the main property, which can be seen in your image on the right. The next ranch we're going to go to is Manari Ranch. It's known for its relaxed environment, wildlife spotting, bird watching, a boat ride to Manari Creek, evening bonfires, and hikes. Manari Ranch is also popular for just relaxing in general after a long day of horseback riding or seeing some of the popular wildlife around the area. You can just come and sit back in the common area of the ranch and relax in one of the hammocks. Our next stop is Dadanawa Ranch. It is known for its ranching environment, wildlife spotting, horseback riding, bird watching, and hikes around the property. Those are just some images of Dadanawa Ranch. Our next stop is Saddle Mountain Ranch. This is actually one of the most popular ranches in this area. It is a working ranch, and it's popular for horseback riding, lassoing, nature hikes, and outdoor camping that you can do just around the property. It is run by a couple. Locally, we call them Auntie Joan and Uncle Tom. And if you travel, any traveler or visitor goes there, they call them the same thing. They insist on it. A little known fun fact, it's part of the culture in Ghana to call those older than you auntie or uncle. It's just seen as a sign of respect in this part of the world. Some of the images here you can see of when they were doing the lassoing of the herds, trying to feed them. One of the travelers going out to take some shots of the area, outdoor camping at nights, as well as horseback riding down the trails. Conishan is actually not a working ranch, but it is one of the 4 main protected areas of Guyana. It is a conservation project, and you can do a day village visit here from the lowest possible ranch, and you can also do nature walks in and around the village. If we go back to the general map, Conishan is actually the area the shaded area on the map as well. Throughout the map, there were 2 towns, Aishalton and Shia. Those are 2 smaller villages that are found in this region. You can visit it during a day, but it's not a very popular tourist destination. But it is more for those that would like just to see what the average village life is like in that part. But because it is protected areas, you do have to be very respectful when you go in and get permission from the villages, which a local tour operator can help you with. Some of the 2 more popular dishes you would see in this part of the country are farine and calabresa. Farine is actually cassava, which is a root vegetable. It is dried down and grated and then fried in oil. And calabresa is a Portuguese-inspired sausage. It's very popular in this part of the world because of the closeness to Brazil. Now, I know what you're thinking. The South Rupununi looks great, but how do I get there? Well, you can fly or you can drive. You can fly from our main, one of our international airports, Ogle International Airport, and it takes about an hour and a half to get from Georgetown down to Latham. And then from there, you can drive to the various ranches, or you can take a drive from our main city of Georgetown down to Latham. That total drive would be about 10 to 12 hours. Here you can see four of our main tour operators that work this circuit. Bushmaster, which is very popular with hard adventure. They do a lot of outdoor camping and a lot of authentic ranching experiences. Evergreen Adventures also does tours to this area. They are also very popular in the Essequibo circuit, which we did last month. Untamed Adventures, they are known for their hard adventure as well and some of the ranching experiences. And Wilderness Explorers, which is very popular locally for community-owned and led experiences that they feature. But whatever the needs of your clients are, they can tailor a trip that meets that. I'd like you to meet some of our travel influencers who actually visited the South Rupununi last year. So last year we actually did feature two groups of travel influencers, some to the North Rupununi and some to the south. In the South Rupununi, you would see Jules from Don't Forget to Move. From The Crowded Planet, there's Marguerite, and from Journalists on the Run and Connor Phelan Photography, there is Connor. These are actually some international travel influencers that have high reaches in both the North American and the UK markets. And they actually got to experience some of the South Rupununi and generated some content for us, as well as partnerships with their pages as well. So I'd encourage you to just check out their pages to find more information about Guyana, as well as our social media feeds and our website at guyanatourism.com, and discover Guyana across all our social media channels. For more information, you can visit our website, guyanatourism.com. It is the official destination website of Guyana. It's operated and monitored by the Guyana Tourism Authority. We are a semi-autonomous government agency. You can also visit exploreguyana.org. It is the website of our sister agency, which is a membership private sector agency, the Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana. Statistics, guyana.gov.gy, which is the official website for the Government of Guyana's Bureau of Statistics. Go Invest for investments into Guyana, especially those related to tourism. And cgairport-gy.com, which is the official website of Chatujagan International Airport. This is actually the airport where most of our North American flights come in from. Support for new operators and airlines from the Guyana Tourism Authority. We provide key information, assist with coordinating travel-related events, setting up interviews, working with the joint advertisement, support on fam trips, reception at airports, help to negotiate hotel rates, help build Guyana's private sector capacity, as well to best service your needs. So I'll leave it open now for Jessie to come back for any questions that you guys may have.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicola. We have a few questions, so feel free to type those through as we still have Nicola on. We have one question. Can you cross to Brazil easily from Latham?
Yes, actually you can, but when you work with your tour operator, they will be able to tell you what requirements you would need depending on what country of citizenship you have. The actual process to cross over takes probably about 30 to 45 minutes. Locally, we do have some operators that would work as well, packaging Guyana and Brazil, but is not as popular as the three Guyanas.
Perfect. So we've been through this three-part series now, and if anyone has joined us for the other two series, you know that Nicola has mentioned both Karanambu and Cayman House. So if you don't mind just kind of comparing the lodges that you went through today and the other lodges that we have in the Northern Circuit and the Essequibo Circuit, how they kind of differ to the South Rupununi, the benefit of booking them other than being close to Lethem, if that makes sense.
Sure. So the North Rupununi, it's actually found very close to the rainforest of Guyana. So the main difference between the north and the south is that the north does have more of that rainforest, the lush rainforest landscape, and the south has a lot more of the savanna landscape. So the south will have more of a western ranching feel, and the North Rupununi will have more of the treehouse rainforest vibe. They actually both have mountains set in its background and within the landscape itself, but the main aspect of the landscape is a bit different. For the Essequibo lodgings and resorts, it's more similar to that in the North Rupununi. It is just a bit more, they have a lot more beaches in that area and a lot more access to the main Essequibo River.
Got it. Let's see. Are there any minimum stays when you're doing the circuit? Minimum night stays?
There is no minimum that is required by tour operators and travelers, but we advise to take a week at minimum to really get in and to really have a good experience as to see what it is. A lot of our travelers too, they just don't stay at one lodge or one ranch when they're here. Most travelers do about 2 weeks, and then they spend 2 to 3 nights at different properties in either circuits so that they can fully experience everything that circuit has to offer.
Got it. This is a great question. Would any of the water systems be considered part of the greater Amazon River?
You would find that a bit closely more in the North Rupununi, where Lethem is, some of the main rivers and at that area. So the pond that you would have been seeing at Wyken Ranch, actually that kind of water is what you'll be seeing around the area. If you notice in this backdrop here where there are questions, that photo was taken at Karanambu Ranch, which is about the end to the Rupununi River, which is around that Amazon area. So Guyana is not necessarily in the Amazon area, the Amazon River, but it is part of the Amazon basin.
Got it. Close.
Yeah.
Last question, and then we'll wrap it up here. Can you talk about combining with Venezuela? I know that there's some issues. That's a different topic for discussion. But, is there any issues crossing into Venezuela?
Currently, there are not a lot of crossings that happen on the Guyana and Venezuela border, as in tourists going over, primarily because, from what I've been told, the Venezuela tourist sites are not close to that border. So many people would use the main airports in Georgetown and fly out to Venezuela to see their tourism sites. The one site that is the closest to our border is actually Mount Roraima. So you can have a great view of it from Guyana, and you can actually, depending on the operator that you have, you can actually do a personalized tour that gets you right at top of Mount Roraima. We actually had someone that was able to camp out overnight from the Guyana side. However, the Venezuela side, they do have more access to that mountain. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the tours do happen on that end.
Okay. I lied. I'm gonna ask you one more question, and this is the never-ending question for the U.S. market. Can you talk about the Wi-Fi?
Sure. So in Georgetown and some of the areas in the Essequibo River, Wi-Fi, you will get free Wi-Fi, especially on those Georgetown properties. On the properties in the North and the South Rupununi, Wi-Fi is a bit more limited just because their bandwidth is pretty small and they do have to pay a lot. So in those areas, you do get Wi-Fi, but you have to pay for some of that Wi-Fi. In Lethem, which is actually the main hub of the Rupununi region and the main town, you do get Wi-Fi in about 50% of the hotels that you stay at. Some of the more popular ones are Takatu Hotel and the Rupununi Eco Hotel, which you do have Wi-Fi in those areas as well. Perfect. We like to say it's great to wonder where the Wi-Fi is a bit weak. So that's why we encourage you to come to Guyana. You get to learn a lot more about yourself and the people you're with and the nature and the wildlife that's around you.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much, Nicola. We really appreciate it. And like I said, everyone, this has been recorded, so we will be sending you a playback. And what we'll also do is include the two other webinars that we've been talking about in Guyana's popular tourism circuit, so you will get those. But keep a lookout for that email, and we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. And Nicola, thanks so much for your time today.
No problem. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.